I have $13 in coins. I have 10 more dimes than nickels and 22 more quarters than dimes. How much of each coin do I have? For this problem, we first can create a table to lay out the information that we do have and determine the equations we must use to find the information we do not have, the number of each coin. We are told that we have a certain number of dimes, which we will represent with the variable d. The value of each dime is 10 cents, so the value of this equation is 10d, the number of dimes times the value of each dime. We have a number of nickels, which is 10 less than the number of dimes, which we will represent with the equation d minus 10. The value of each nickel is 5 cents, so the value of this equation is 5 times d minus 10. The number of quarters is represented as 22 more than the number of dimes, which we will represent as d plus 22. The value of each quarter is 25 cents, so the value of this equation is 25 times d plus 22. Now let's plug all of these valued equations, each of which equal the total number of all of their coins, into an equation that equals the total value of all of the coins put together, which is $13 or 1,300 cents. 10d, the first equation value, plus 5 times d minus 10, the second equation value for nickels, plus 25 times d plus 22, the third equation value for quarters, equals 1,300 cents, $13. To first simplify this, let's distribute. 10d will stay the same, plus 5d minus 50 distributed, plus 25d plus 550 distributed also, equals the same $13, 1,300 cents. To further simplify, we will combine like terms until we eventually will get 40d equals 800. d equals 20. Now, as I first said, d equaled the number of dimes. The number of every coin was based off of how many dimes there were, so we will now plug the number of dimes, 20, into each equation that we originally had. So, the number of dimes equaled d, which we now know equals 20. There were 20 dimes. The total number of nickels was 10 less than the number of dimes, which was d minus 10. We now know that d equals 20, so the number of nickels will equal 20 minus 10, which equals 10. The number of quarters was equal to d plus 22, the number of dimes plus 22. We now know that the number of dimes is 20, so this will equal 20 plus 22. The number of quarters is 42. By plugging in the number of dimes into each equation, we figured out that the number of dimes equals 20, the number of nickels equals 10, and the number of quarters equals 42.